Still almost ran out of breath there, out of practice. Yeah, that was a English folk song called "Early One Morning." Time to don the fez. Greetings, fellow citizens. This is Citizen Kong, and welcome to another Fez Night. Tonight's Fez Night shall be called A Fez With No Name. Got a little something. This cup's almost empty, but hello, everybody. Ah. I know it's cliche to start a sentence with, ever have one of those days? But I was having one of those days. Oh. Yes. But we're getting through it. I almost never seem to fail to do this, but I get my notice to register my car. And the first thing I look at is to see when it's due. And then I put that off as long as possible. But what I fail to do is look at the top to see whether I have to smog my car or not. So today was the last day for me to register my car without incurring, extra charges. And I looked at the top and my car needed to be smogged. So I went ahead and paid my registration fee online, but it was going to be incomplete. And they said they would, the online instruction said it would send me a notice saying that I paid my registration fee, but it would be incomplete. Well, I pretty much thought, well, I'm going to try to go get my car smogged later on this week. But as it would happen, that the guy right down the road from me, within walking distance, there's a smog place. They were open this Sunday. And he was able to squeeze me in probably like second to last before he closed at 3 o'clock. And so I pulled that one off. And I was going to go do my laundry. The washer dryer in my complex, I don't like the dryer. It just doesn't work properly. So I stopped using the dryer here. Sometimes I use a washer when I put stuff on the line to save energy. So I do put some things on the line, but socks and all these other smaller items, it's just I throw it in the dryer, and I didn't get around to it. So I'm going to have to do this after I record this Fez Night. Oh, my energy level is so low. But let me start off with saying that Monk's Blog TV with Mino Martin, play on Dino Martin. He had a new puppet, a dummy, that looks like Dean Martin. It went off fairly well. There was a few technical glitches, but it was the format was supposed to be a roast, and it was going to roast Nigel Cromwell, aka Jeff Davis. Well, the guest of honor never showed up. I was co-host for a brief moment, but the sound was terrible, and there's all kinds of glitches. It's kind of best when you do Blog TV in concert with Skype. It's a little complicated to explain, but it does work a little better as far as dialogue. And so that was cool. And speaking of Blog TV, I believe Angie's doing a Blog TV tonight, and she's probably doing it right now while I'm recording this. Blog TV seems to, it was popular for a while. It was kind of like the new thing, and now it's the popularity is picked up again. It sort of went flat there for a while. I still say that if it's not done properly, it's really, really annoying. I feel that I invest more energy when I'm watching Blog TV, reading the comments, and it's hard to read the comments and pay attention to what the performer is doing. But a lot of times the performer's not doing much anyway. I dropped in on Bang Callahan's Blog TV last night, and I heard that he commented somewhere that he had a good turnout, and that even some YouTube celebrities stopped by, and he mentioned Kid Blood, who is legitimately a YouTube celebrity. And he mentioned me, Citizen Kong, which is very, very nice, but I do not consider myself a YouTube celebrity in any way, shape, or form. I'm one of the little guys, you know, I don't get that many views. All my subscribers are trolls and sock accounts, and so I wouldn't put myself in that league. Maybe I do get a lot of unwanted publicity from all the trolls and haters, but hey, I guess they say bad publicity is better than none at all. And let's see. Yeah, so Ben Callahan. Ben Callahan, I don't know a whole lot about him. I've been hearing his name quite a while. And from what I understand, he's fairly new to the YouTube scene. But the guy has made a real splash. And apparently part of that way he's made a name for himself is by going after a real man. Real man 1 trillion, I guess it is now. And when I was on Monk's Blog TV, I don't think I really believe I did not go in taking shots at Real Man. He started taking shots at me first. So we ended up really fighting in the comments there. It's just beyond me. I know Methadone for Life, good friend of mine. He likes Real Man's blogging. And when Real Man does a regular vlog, he's quite good. I'd have to give him that. Even though some of his ideas are completely off the rails. I disagree with him so much over climate change and government. But what's so typical of libertarians, or obviously by definition a libertarian, but when you say, well, yeah, you're obviously a libertarian. Oh, no, don't categorize me, la, la, la. Well, you believe this, 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 and this. Therefore, you're a libertarian. Oh, no, I don't fit into any category at all. And I know we all want to, we don't like to be pigeonholed or categoried. None of us do. But when it comes to political science or any type of science, categories and, what would I say, you know, like categories, lists, the periodic table, the elements are categorized. Plants and animals are categorized. You know, you got your mammals and your reptiles and stuff. It's just how it's done, you know. Our last names are put into alphabetical order. We're put into different grades. Oh, don't pigeonhole me. But I know. On my channel I have like something, I'm not a number, I am a free man. Yeah. But of course, the prisoner, in the end, the moral of the story is that as much as we fight for individualism and freedom and independence, it's more or less an illusion. It's all an illusion. And yeah, so Ben Callahan, a good blog TV, good job. You know, he's engaging. And he doesn't fall into the pitfall of the bad technology that Blog TV offers, where you put a co-host in the corner and everything's out of sync and there's just such a long delay. But what he does is you can hear people on Skype in the background, like basically a little small peanut gallery he has there. No offense to the people that are there on Skype. Actually, from what I understand, what was it, Buffalo Bob and the term peanut gallery, didn't it come from that, from Buffalo Bob and the Howdy Doody show, that he referred to the kids in the audience in these little small bleachers as the peanut gallery? So yeah, Ben Callahan. I know there's some controversy about Ben Callahan. I sort of sense that there was. Sometimes these days you just sort of have to be careful, at least in this cyber world, and I know many of you don't care, but who you befriend. And sometimes I went on Skype and somebody was giving me a ration of shit because I was in a Skype chat room and conference call, and I was given a ration of shit because some of the people that I am friends with that support Fez Night, that I've never had a problem with them personally, but maybe there was some past history with them where they had done something that upset somebody, And I can understand. If the circumstances are explained, I'd be upset too, you know. But it's kind of hard to know a person's past history. And apparently Real Man's really upset with me because I've befriended Bang Callahan. And apparently Bang Callahan went after Real Man in a very, very unfair way. And I wouldn't approve of that. I think Bang Callahan, is sort of recanted some of that, acknowledged that it's not true. Um, um, but it's something the eggs would do. And it was done to me once too, so I understand. A long time ago, I was accused of being basically the nuclear bomb on the modern equivalent of being called a witch, you know. And so um, I'm not going to say what it is. You can all guess, or just ask me in the comments, and I'll tell you. But I think it's pretty. Anyway. So speaking of Real Man came by my channel to remind me of this, and that wasn't on my radar when I went over to Bang Callahan's Blog TV and was supporting him. I'll tell you, him and his circle, I'm not going to talk politics with them because my politics is quite different. I want to give a shout out to Leslie Blood. Cheers. Who apparently was taking some pot shots at me, but not in a terrible way. Leslie Blood is a very, very learned person, but I don't agree quite about some people how they feel about the state of Israel. And I fully acknowledge that the oppressed has become the oppressor when it comes to the Palestinians. I fully acknowledge that. But it's a complicated world as far as our alliance with Israel. Frankly, I believe that we have more in common with Israel as far as culturally, religion. You know, they do call it the Judeo-Christian tradition. You know, as Christians, who most Americans consider themselves. I would not call this a Christian nation, but the whole Middle East is a mess, and anybody that we could call friend is probably a good thing. I don't really think that we should send them all that money. I don't approve of the fact that there's so many lobbyists that lobby for Israel, and also support of Israel is in many ways a right-wing kind of thing, and a Christian right-wing fundamentalist Christian thing, because supposedly in the end times and Armageddon that the whole thing is going to center around Israel. What's not always fully understood by, maybe they do understand it, the Jews, and they will accept the support for the state of Israel from the right-wing Christians, but the right-wing Christians always consider the Jews as not the extreme fundamentalist, right? I'm not talking about your good, forgiving Christian that follows, the ethics of the rabbi known as Jesus Christ. Essentially, Christianity was a spin-off, basically a sect of Judaism. Judaism. Sometimes I get some of those words mixed up. Belief, the Jewish belief, and so I don't know why I'm going off on this tangent, but he sent me a video this morning. And I watched it, and this man was very, very learned, but it was the whole thing about America supporting Israel, and I'm listening. What I was getting back to the right-wing Christians is they, being saved or not saved, and they believe that the Jews are not saved, and that they must bring themselves to Christ before this happens. So when Armageddon happens, they'll support Israel all the way until the second coming, and then they're like, "Good luck, you're on your own. You better become a Christian, or you're dead. You're all going to hell." But they don't say that leading forward, And a lot of the Jews that know this are like, yeah, but we'll take the money, we'll take the support. So it is. It's a complicated thing. I usually don't start off Fez Night by talking about something like that, but that was on the on the top of my mind. And when I do Fez Night, understand that it is a process of free association. It's I was writing a story once, and I was trying to say, like, free association is like a film reel that has broken off the take-up reel, and the film is going off and it's spilling on the floor. Was it a complicated simile? Was it? Right now, I don't want to rack my brain thinking of the difference between a metaphor and a simile. I think it was a metaphor or a simile. Anybody out there want to help me out? It's been a long time since I studied that sort of thing. And yeah, so yeah, something was posted on my channel, and Hydroponic was making fun of me because he did an imitation of me on Skype. We were on Skype video, and yes, I have been using Skype lately, even though I just did not want to. I just wanted to avoid Skype completely. Just one more thing to take up my time. Yeah, Hydroponic was making fun of me because since I wear bifocals and I have to read something on my screen, I look up like this so I can look at the bottom of my bifocals. Well, this is a comment left on my channel by a channel that calls itself the Network of Evil. It says, "Wow, just wow. Look at how Monkey Boy has been reduced to another hater troll channel. You lost your legitimacy, you lost your identity, you lost your original core of decent followers. You offer nothing of substance. Your Fez Nights are pansy gossip bitch rants. You are weak-minded and easily led down the road to your own self-destruction. You have no voice, you offer nothing, therefore you are nothing." Well, let me get my cursor over here. Okay, let's see. Come, I can't do this. Oh, what a pain. The pain. Oh, yes, that hurt terribly. But here we go again. Let me read back this one part that I thought that kind of, I lost your original core of decent followers. So I don't know who this original core of my followers and what made them decent. Does that imply that those of you that watch my show now, those of you that are here, the few, that you're indecent? I don't think so. And a pansy bishop, was it gossip bitch rant or something? Sure. I mean, I'm not going to agree with that, but I'll be the first to say that I come on Fez Night with my heart on my sleeve, and whatever's bothering me that day, whether it's something on, I'll talk about it. Something that's at the forefront of my mind. This is a stream of consciousness. This is talking about what is on my mind, and one idea leading to another. And I really don't know when I start out where it will end up. Exactly. I do know it might end with me reading the paper. And there might be a couple things that I want to talk about. But in the course of that, whatever comes off out of my mouth, it's like the filter between my brain and my mouth. It's just sort of, we lift it for a little bit. And so if it's a gossipy bitch rant, I'm sorry you feel that way. I don't see it as that way. If some of you that are watching feel that, I know Andy feels that way. Is Andy one of the decent followers that I lost? Really? Oh, by the way, speaking of the decent followers that I lost, apparently this person might be referring to Pops, who made a video that was an old clip with him and Jeff Davis together. And Pops is wearing his bones, and he's the godfather of the Network of Evil. And it's an old tape, but old video, but he sounds very conciliatory. He's giving a shout out to all his friends. But then he puts a graphic up on the screen, and he calls me, Pops can't help it. He will take a dig at me, and likewise, I can't help myself either, because I'll take a dig at him. But I won't be pretending to be conciliatory, He will pretend to be conciliatory and then stick the knife in your back at the same time, which is the projecting thing. He calls me a backstabber. But So at the same time, the graphic says, Citizen Kong, the original Queen of Evil. Hardy har har har. Well, the other thing that makes Pops really the Queen of Evil, which makes him not a man, is that I am blocked on that channel. He's talking about Citizen Kong, he references him, and yet I am blocked and I'm not able to comment on that channel. So, and he said in the past that I was unblocked, but apparently he reblocked me. So I'd say that's, excuse me ladies, but that's a pussy move. And Pops, you're no lady. You're some sort of effeminate something in between, you know. But you know, the term lady, you know, means a person of, you know, of dignity and, you know, manners. You know, modern society, we use the word lady too loosely, much too loosely. I saw Geraldo Rivera interviewing a group of women prisoners in prison. And they were all like sitting there as a group, and he said, yes, ladies. He called them ladies, and that sort of bothered me. Speaking of another thing that kind of bothers me, this is completely off topic, but, and you know me, yeah, these things bother me. I'm some sort of grammar Nazi. But when I was younger and growing up and being, I don't know how to put it, but growing up around a lot of Hispanics, and my mother was Hispanic, so there were things when I was very young before I started school that I would get wrong because I was learning English from somebody that English was their second language. It's just a sort of weird play on the mother tongue, right? And if you drop something on the floor or pick something off the floor, but I've been hearing this a lot on television. Writers, you know, people that actually sitting there writing that choose the word, and people in everyday speech that when they don't say, they say, well, pick it up off the ground, even when you're indoors. And that was one of those things I used to get mixed up when I was a kid. Everything was the ground. And I would be corrected, no, that's not the ground, that's the floor. But now it seems like nobody really cares anymore. I'm free, I can call it the ground now. Oh yeah, these little things that bother me. Instead of like thinking about my real big problems, right? They're all little problems. I just have a ton of them. Yeah. So yeah, Pops has me blocked there, and which is amusing. What else? What else? I was going to mention that that when I was in Monk's Blog TV, Timmy stopped by. Timmy113, Cyber9 Rounder, stopped by. It was obviously him. He was using some sort of sock account. I'm 99% sure it was him. And he said this in comments other places, and he's been making references. And he claims to know where I work now. Okay, so am I supposed to prepare myself for him showing up there at work, where I work at my new job? And how am I supposed to deal with that? What does he propose to do? Approach the people that I work for and say, you need to be aware of what Citizen Kong does on the internet, what he does on YouTube. You need to be aware of some of the things he said about the new place that he works at. Well, Timmy, you got so offended when I called you a snitch, but essentially, aren't you being a rat? You know, going in there being a tattletale if you do come to my work and talk about that sort of thing. I'm prepared to deal with that, but you know what that'll make you, right? So, but I'm prepared. I mean, so far they really like me there, and I'm filling a really good niche. I found my niche there, a very interesting niche. And the other thing that's hard to avoid, the anonymity, is that the damn place keeps having TV crews come by there. The place is so interesting. I mean, it's sort of an interesting concept that I was there when a TV crew came by for the local morning show, and there's probably going to be more. And then there was TV crews coming by there before I went to work there, and they got written up in a local one of those glossy magazines for rich people, you know. I'm sure LA has one that's all about LA mansions and LA style and all that. And San Diego has one. I'm sure every major city has one, you know, for the hoity-toity, you know, segment of the population in that particular city. And got a really, really nice write-up in a local magazine, and that too. And when I was there, when the film crew came in there, he put us all in a group. So there I I should have tried to wear a disguise or something, huh? So anyway, just to avoid Timmy, right? Oh, Timmy, don't come by where I work. What can I do? It's a free country. Of course, I'll say this man is a creep. Call 911, and then after that, I'll get a restraining order. Hey, you know. It shouldn't come to that. That's just silly. Yeah. Oh, God, go running to the authorities. But what does Timmy do on YouTube? He goes running to the authorities all the time with his DMCA's and, you know, and la-di-da, you know. Come on, I need the law to help me. Oh, yeah, what kind of thug does that, you know? What kind of real thug, you know? I don't call myself a thug. I'm not a thug. I'm a citizen. I'm Citizen Kong. Well, and, you know, the other thing is about this so-called, like, gossipy bitch rant, I've said it many, many times, is that Kid Blood said it. He likes to watch the beginning of Fez Night to catch up on what's going on. And I talk about it in my description. I talk about my life and what's going on my current, what's currently going on in my corner of YouTube. You know, the people that surround me. And there's some people that I genuinely, I don't want to list them, but they, you know, there's people on here that I genuinely like. Even though I've never met them in person, but I feel that I've come to know them fairly well. Of course, the really, really people that are hardened and cynics and stuff will say, never trust anyone, you know. And I can understand that because that's been a pitfall for me, being a little naive and trusting. Or what was that? Leading to the path of my own destruction. Okay. And the thing about decent people, or what was it? Good people or decent people? This is coming from a channel that calls itself the Network of Evil. What happened? I thought evil was bad, right? Isn't that what it means? You know, something is evil, that smells evil, you know? You're an evil person. Wickedness. We taken like the English language and turned it on its head. I know kids do that. Oh yeah, that's really bad. Boy, that was bad. Oh man, that was sick. You know, sick meaning that it's great, and bad meaning that it's, you know, good or radical or bitchin'. Now bitchin', I don't know. Anyway, I thought that was kind of a thing. Oh, which I wasn't allowed to say when I was a little kid. Oh yeah, that's bitchin'. All right. One thing I forgot. Here, well, you know, pour myself some more hot tea. I ran out here. And you can hear it off camera. I'm pouring it. And actually, I'll tell you, I don't have my really cool teapot. What kind of boy owns a tea set? That was on The Simpsons. And the little effeminate kid, who's also really brilliant on The Simpsons. Should I say that? I don't think of myself as effeminate because I was a welder. And I worked in a shipyard. I mean, I pretty much, I don't know what I have to prove to anybody, but I've taken on jobs that are not like office jobs. I've taken on jobs where I never wear a tie. Everybody has to wear a tie to work. They're a big pussy. No offense to some of my friends that have to wear a tie to work. But the people that wear a tie to work and call me a pussy, no, you're a bigger pussy. I wear steel-toed boots when I go to work. And I got cuts on my hands and scars from working with my hands pretty much all my life. So, anyway, I don't know why I'm... Yeah, I shouldn't make a big deal about that. But that's the constant thing. That's the dig. That's the dig. And that's the same dig I took at Pops. You know, he called me the original Queen of Evil. And I say, Pops, Pops is way more effeminate than I. Pops actually put on a dress. He thinks, that's his style of humor. And sure, Milton Berle put on a dress for laughs, and so did Monty Python and all that. But when you compare Monty Python and Milton Berle to what Pops was doing, laying on a bed, batting his eyes, it's just damn creepy. And he shaved his legs. Either that or he's one of them hairless men. God. If I could just take that image out of my mind. There's so many images in my mind that I wish I could get out of. Tom Kennedy's video, Notorious video. Boy, I wish I could go and get my mind purged of that, like they did in that movie, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, or whatever, The one with Jim Carrey. Something about sunshine and mind or something. Oh, that's good. Okay, I forgot the newspaper. I'll be right back. La 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 la. I don't know the words to that, but it's called Early One Morning I Spied a Young Maiden. Okay, let's see. Well, I'm not reading the comics to you. Let's look at the paper together, because I got caught up doing my smog. I was going to read the paper when I was doing my laundry, but I'm going to have to do that later. And I'll look at the headlines real quick. Here's the art and book section. Toss that aside. Calendar. Felony Femmes. Producing and starring in crime TV is now a woman's game. Well, there we go. It's now a woman's game. Something popped in my head, then left again. This is kind of, and I don't know if I'm going to, you Harry Potter fans, I don't know if I'm getting, is it called Kidditch? The kids, young people in college, are playing Kidditch, the game from Harry Potter. But of course they can't fly through the air or whatever, so they have some mortal version of it. Or are they referred to as muggles? See, I know way too much about Harry Potter. I only know about it from watching the movies, which is pretty good. Did I watch any good movies this last week? No, just a bunch of crap. Yeah. It's funny, Eileen, who never watches movies. I'm always making movie references that she never gets, because I've watched a ton of movies. And I used to read a lot, so sometimes I make references to some of the books I've read. But this isn't... Eileen, it's mostly the movie thing. She never watches movies. And she saw the whole Dr. Phibes thing on Monk's channel, the Dr. Phibes theme, and she found I think the original Dr. Phibes on YouTube and watched it. She enjoyed it so much she watched it twice. I myself, it's sitting. I have the two movies sitting here on DVD, but I haven't watched it yet. To be honest, I've never seen it. I just remember when I was a little kid, when it came out, that was one of those movies I was not allowed to see. That's funny. Not that I'm saying it's crap, but, it's not what we would call, like, majorly good cinema. I was watching something that was a really, really brilliant job, and it was called Monarch of the Moon. I watched it last night, and it's a spoof of the 1930s sci-fi, Buck Rogers and all that stuff, serial movies, where you as a kid, I mean, I wasn't born then, but the kids would go and watch this, matinee or something, and it would be, I don't know, like a half-hour film that would end with a cliffhanger, and then you would go back and see it, later. They even did like a version of Batman, I understand. They used to have them down at the at Kensington Video here. Before the days of DVD, Kensington Video was one of the best places to rent videos. And they had a really, really great foreign section and a really excellent section of obscure films. And they had a whole section of old serial movies. Charlie Chan and all that sort of thing, I believe. Let's see. Eliza Doolittle. I don't know who this person is. Making a splash in fashion as well as in the music world. But Eliza Doolittle, wasn't that a character in My Fair Lady? I believe so. the one who learned to walk and to talk like a real lady. You know, she had a Cockney accent, and Rex Harrison in the movie was trying to rid her of that. He made a bet with some friends that he could take a woman off the street and turn her into a proper, upper class type lady. Once again, the proper term of lady. I understand originally the play, it wasn't a musical, but it was it George Bernard Shaw? And it was called Pygmalion? I believe so. Anyway, this gal's cute. She's wearing some short cut-off jeans, which would be interesting to see that come back in fashion. And hint of camel toe there. Oh yeah, I'm such a perv. Yes. Did I say hello to Barfly Brooks? Hey Barfly Brooks. Still trying to distance yourself from me? Yes, folks, I'm that toxic. I'm that toxic that even the network of evil is calling me a bad person. Oh, can you believe it? Oh, this is a section of the travel section about war reenactment, which is kind of an interesting thing. Really, the people that spent all that effort getting the pure, authentic uniforms and everything. I went through this phase where I was pipe collecting, and I came into some excess money a few years ago I did this side job that was fairly lucrative. And what did I do? I started buying pipes on eBay. And it sounds kind of gross, but it's really a big market, gross in that most of the pipes I bought were used pipes, second-hand pipes. And of course, you clean them really thoroughly, but a good Dunhill, that's the only really fancy name that comes to mind, but there's a bunch of them. A good Dunhill, a high-quality pipe, is really expensive, a briar pipe. And I just couldn't stop myself. I kept buying them. And then buying and trying the different tobaccos. Oh man, there's tobaccos, such a wide variety of pipe tobaccos. I would almost guess that there's a wider variety, I don't know, but I would wonder, is there a wider variety of pipe tobaccos than there is of cigars? Myself, I've tried cigars. I don't particularly like the image that a cigar promotes. Rush Limbaugh and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Here's the really, really important man. I'm so important, and I've got a big cigar in my mouth. No, I don't. And you know what? Cigars really, really smell bad. Whereas some not all pipe tobaccos, there's some pipe tobaccos that smell really bad too. But a lot of them actually have, to me, a pleasant aroma. And man, and there's like very old-fashioned types you can get. You can get tobacco that's twisted, like it's whole leaves, it's twisted, and you break it up and put it in your pipe. That's the very, according to what they claim, is very authentic. It's much like what people smoked in the 1850s. It's made the same way. So the reason why I thought of this is that when I was buying pipes and pipe tobacco, I was also looking for clay pipes, which prior to the briar pipe is what people, if you look at those old, our founding fathers and stuff, they were smoking out of these clay pipes. And actually they had these really long ones. And what would happen is clay pipes would break so much. And they would also be sometimes shared. And so if it was kind of nasty on the end, they'd break the tip off and then smoke out of it still. But if you dropped it on the ground or the floor, it would break. And when they came up with the briar pipe, then there was truly, pipes were pretty much disposable. They'll find old, in digs and stuff, they'll find clay pipes, and, archaeological digs that don't go back too far, go back a couple hundred years or so. And so the Civil War reenactment, there was this whole section of stuff you could buy if you were practicing in Civil War reenactment. Uniforms and even the food. You could buy what rations that the typical Civil War soldier, North and South, would be eating. I think hardtack was one of those things. It's some type of cracker, I understand. And I bought some tobacco from that, some twisted black tobacco. And man, is that stuff strong. I mean, and you're not inhaling, you're just puffing on it. Some of it is going down your throat in the form, you're mixing them with your saliva, and then some of it's kind of hitting your nasal passages. And boy, I would just get really, really a nicotine high, a strong one. But funny, not dizzy and all that sort of like where you'd want to throw up or anything, but kind of pleasant. I'd want to take a nap afterwards. One thing about being a pipe smoker, don't smoke the strong tobaccos on an empty stomach. And you've seen just a small sample of some of the pipes I have when I do my Dr. Bender thing. I pretty much gave up. I haven't given it up, I just fell out of the habit of pipe smoking. It's actually really a pain in the ass. You have to rotate your pipes. You don't want to smoke out of the same pipe every day. Then there's maintaining the pipes, using pipe cleaners and all that. But that's part of the fun, though, if you enjoy the ritual, which I did for quite a while. But there's nothing quite, I was calling like the cigarette is like the crack cocaine version of tobacco. Cigars, you just puff on, you don't inhale, you're not supposed to. And it's much like a pipe in that you're getting your buzz from what's going, being absorbed by your mouth and your sinuses. And probably more so with a cigar. A real cigar smoker, the end of the cigar gets wet in your mouth. Sigmund Freud, though, smoked a cigar, so not all my... I don't see that every cigar smoker is some kind of pompous ass. Actually, Freud got mouth cancer from a cigar, and so did Ulysses S. Grant. And they kept cutting away, but, they died. Well, there's this whole stuff where it says there was some talk about shutting down government, and I'm more or less delusioned with the whole thing. This Obama and the Libyan war, and Obama making compromises with GOP, and I'm still hoping he gets reelected, and the chances look good because the GOP hasn't. The best front. Oh, Al Brookman seems to know that there's some secret person. God damn it! Excuse me. Gosh darn it! I so told myself I wasn't going to mention Al Brookman. I'm annoyed with him right now. And so is Angie. I don't know whether she really is or not. But yeah, there's no, this person will make the claim, oh yeah, there's somebody, I know from the inside information that there's somebody that's going to come up that'll beat the pants off Obama. But so far for the rest of us that don't run in those circles that this person does, getting all the inside information, it's pretty much Mitt Romney is the only one that seems to have a ghost of a chance so far. I see this headline says coffee studies should warm your heart. So once again, studies say coffee may be good for the cardiovascular system, reversing prior research. Yeah, I love coffee. I love coffee in the morning. Good, strong French roast or thereabouts with no milk or cream or sugar. I'll add milk and sugar when I'm treating myself, but I also switched to tea because tea at once it's a stimulant, and the other half there's a chemical in there that acts as a relaxant. So there's something about that doesn't make me quite as edgy and short-tempered. Yeah, and believe me, as much as the personable, good-natured person that I appear on Fez Night, I say that tongue-in-cheek, is that I have a temper. I really do. It must be the Irish in me, and the Scotch, and Hispanics are really, really hot-blooded too. So there you go. The English aren't known for their hot tempers. They don't have a reputation for that. But the Irish, the Scots, and the Mexicans do. Or the Mexicans, not so much a hot temper, but really passionate. Isn't it Puerto Ricans that have a... Wasn't there a Saturday Night Live spoof or something, skit, where an Irishman, well, American Irish, was marrying a American Puerto Rican girl, and how like the whole like thing in the bar or whatever they hung out, they were all drunk and fighting and stuff. I seem to remember something about that. Here's a headline that says, "Too much like Bush, Obama has braced national security policies of his predecessor that he once criticized." Yeah, that's one of the things that I disillusioned about, is the whole thing that he's like Bush too much. But I think if I'll make an excuse for him, I'll say it's so hard to undo all the damage that Bush did. And also, the world's more complicated than some of us realize. Like a simple thinking liberal like myself. All right, I told someone that I was going to do a short Fez night, as short as I could. But here we go. We're on 47 minutes and 30 seconds. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching yet another Fez night. For watching a Fez with no name. This is Citizen Kong. Have a great week. Cheers. Now, where's that button? There it is. Cheers.